When we're solving inequalities with exponentials, first thing we want to do is isolate our exponential. What do I mean by that? I mean, this term here and this term here want to be by itself on one side of the equation. Once we have that, we can then move on to step 2, where we can invert that exponential with ln, because as we can recall, ln of e to the x is just x. Once we have our inequality in terms of just x, we can then isolate x and find our answer. Let's take a look at a few examples. With this one, we have e to the 2x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 7, and we want to solve for x. Well, step 1, we need to isolate this exponential. So we need to get that plus 1 and move it to the other side. So we're going to start off with subtracting 1 from both sides of the equation. This gives us e to the 2x is greater than 6. Now that we have our exponential isolated, we can invert with ln. ln of both sides of the equation keeps the inequality the same. And ln of e to the x is just x, so ln of e to the 2x is 2x. I want to point two things out at this point. One is that when we've taken ln of both sides of the equation, notice that our inequality stays in the same direction. Second thing is that this form of the inequality is what we call exponential form. What we've done by taking ln of both sides is we've turned the exponential form into logarithmic form, as what you see here. Once we have it in logarithmic form, we then isolate x. So what do we need to do here? We need to multiply both sides by 1 over 2. This will then leave our equation with just x on the left, since that 1 over 2 and that 2 cancel out. And our right side becomes ln of 6 over 2. And here we have our final answer. X is greater than ln of 6 over 2. Let's take a look at the second example. Here we have a factor out in front of our e to the 4x. And we're asking, when is that less than or equal to 9? Again, we need to isolate our exponential. So we need to get rid of that 3. That 3 is a bugger. So we multiply by 1 over 3. Both sides of the equation, of course. Like so. This then turns into 1, and we're left with e to the 4x. And this turns into 3, since 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now that we have our exponential isolated, we can invert with ln. ln of both sides keeps the inequality the same, and we turn it into logarithmic form, because ln of e to the 4x is just 4x. Essentially what we're doing here is we're finding the inverse function of e to the x. Our next step is going to be to multiply by 1 over 4 to get this x by itself on the left. That turns into 1, and we end up with x is less than or equal to ln of 3 over 4. And this is our final solution. X is less than or equal to ln of 3 over 4. Essentially, it's just a matter of getting it in terms of just x. No e to the x, just x. And once it's at that point, then we can treat it like any other inequality. There's just this weird number, ln of 3 or ln of 6, that crops up.